Welcome to Two Bros Part 3 of Banished. We have currently not done anything since Part 2. We have stayed in the same position. We blew more on the breathalyzer. And, hey, we're the two bros. We're just drinking around. We're just playing games.
And now I'm a believer. Oh, alright. We've been over this. That's.
I don't know if I can do that intro every time. We might need to edit it and do like auto-tune or something.
We'll change up the jingle every time, maybe. I don't know. We're still working on it. We're still finding our niche.
Niche?
Niche.
Niche?
Nietzsche?
Nee.
Good meme. Okay. So we're playing Banished here. Why don't you give us a little bit of a recap of what we did in the last episode? Because I was not paying attention.
I mean, I think pretty much last episode, all I did was build a house and get our hunters going with venison, and we have some venison, and I farmed the farms again, and then I've just been collecting resources. Basically, we're in winter too, though, Trump City. So,
what's the strategy come spring? What are we gonna expand?
I'm basically probably just gonna farm again, and I'm kind of just waiting for more villagers to become of age, because the next thing I'm probably gonna build is a school, so we have educated villagers because they work faster.
That's just like education unlock new career paths or anything?
No, it just makes people work faster, so I get more resources. So there's not really a downside to the school, except like I believe that instead of people going into the workforce at 11 years old, they go in at like 13 or something. I can't remember. But there's like a little bit of a downside as it takes longer because they're in school instead of being out in the workforce.
No, that's realistic. You take your, in real life, you take your victory lap and to get extra education. Some people are at it 4 years, but you want to go for your 5th year to get extra education.
Oh shit!
And then, what's going on?
Firewood's low. People are gonna freeze to death.
We don't want that.
There should be a person working there, though. So we should
speaking of freezing to death,
wait, are we going to continue the difference between 0.16 and 0.22?
We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about freezing to death first. So, I don't know how many of our viewers live on the east coast of the United States, but there's been an interesting phenomenon this winter where.
Can you call it a winter?
Exactly. Late 2015 was very warm.
We don't live on the east coast, so.
No, I'm just saying, like, some of our viewers might live on the east coast, and this is an interesting anecdote. So, Toronto, which is right there.
But we just visited the East Coast.
Yeah, we're in New Jersey. Yeah. So Toronto, which is the capital of New Jersey, a couple weeks ago, there was a day where Toronto was warmer than Athens, Greece. Like significantly warmer, like 15 degrees warmer.
I suppose that only matters because like the equator differences, like on the equator farther north than Athens.
Significantly further. I mean, Toronto is on the same latitude as maybe like Paris, France. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not maybe as geographically.
I know Europe
with things as you are. But
Europe is way further north than you think. So, like, I told that story about how I was driving across the English Channel.
You mean under?
No. The tunnel goes over the English Channel.
The tunnel goes under.
No, it goes over.
It's a tunnel.
Yeah, they built like an artificial mountain over the English Channel so you could drive over it, but they made it like too steep so they couldn't put a roadway over it, so they just dug a tunnel through it.
It's a tunnel.
Yeah. Over the English Channel. Anyway.
So the water goes under the mountain.
What?
You said they built a mountain. An artificial mountain.
Yeah, but the tunnel goes under the English Channel.
Exactly, that's what I said.
So I'm driving across the English Channel, I was there during the summer, and the sun set at it was like 10 o'clock. I'm an American. I'm like, I should be in bed by now. And it's, the bottom line is Europe is way further north than you think. Anyway, so the difference between playing...
I think the problem there lies in how a flat world map is viewed. Because it's skewed to make everything seem proportionate. Because, like, Africa is, like, way larger than it actually is, according to a regular scaled map that we see every day.
No, Africa's huge.
Yeah, Africa is gigantic compared to, like, and the thing is that's crazy is I didn't realize that for a very long time. That Africa is actually way larger than the actual scale on, like, a flat world map. And I also didn't realize that people still believe the world was flat. There's like a society around it.
Are you sure it's not just like people being edgy?
I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Keep this in your mind. So Brussels, Belgium is at 50-51. Remember 50-51. I'm going to look up where Toronto is.
I don't know what 50-51 means.
No, 50-51 north. 50 degrees, 51 hours
I
north.
still really don't. I mean, I know where Brussels is, but that 50-51 doesn't really mean much to me.
Okay, where's...
I don't really know longitude.
Okay, Toronto is at...
Oh, God, I
gotta scroll so far.
Whew.
Okay, where is the latitude and longitude here?
I don't know.
Toronto is at 43.52 north. So Brussels is like 7 degrees north of Toronto. And I really should have compared it to Athens.
I feel like 7 degrees isn't much.
No, 7 degrees out of like 45 degrees is the entire northern hemisphere.
Okay.
So you're looking at 7 degrees
so
is
25%.
Roughly. Like more like 7%, but that's okay. Right?
You said 7 degrees out of 45.
Yeah. 7 times 7 is 49. Right?
I mean, yeah. So
okay.
So like an eighth.
Okay. So moral of the story.
My bad.
So we're at this.
I am drunk. Slightly.
What were you at again? What percentage?
Less than you.
Okay. Moral of the story. So our buddy who's at 0.22, he's.
Wait, this comes full circle?
No, it really doesn't. That whole anecdote was completely...
what you're saying now is completely unrelated.
Yeah, that anecdote was completely unrelated. Okay.
That was miserable.
So our buddy who's at are we in spring already?
Yeah, gotta make sure the farms are worked.
So moral of the story, our buddy who's at 0.22, he was actually, he was fine. Like, he didn't even, vomit, but he was, kind of drunk. And my buddy and I, that were at, 0.16-ish.
What the fuck?
What just happened? Were we playing, Yoga Truck Simulator? Was that, some graphical glitch there?
I don't know. I was very confused.
So he's at, 0.22. He's barely even conscious at this point. And the guys that are, 0.16... Bear in mind, that's a 0.06 difference. That's the difference between drunk and 2 beers in. We walk him home. We wrestle him into the bathroom, and it turns out he doesn't even have to puke. He doesn't puke at all. But we have to wrestle this kid. He is not going down without a fight. But that's really if I had 2 more beers, I would have been at 0.22. So it's important to monitor your BAC. Don't go 0.2. That's that threshold where someone goes from too drunk to drive, but still approachable to a fucking vegetable. That's how it goes.
I think that happens to a lot of people though. They just approach a level where they don't realize.
Yeah, you see that so many times where it's a switch. It's this person's okay, and then they just go fucking nuts.
I've even done that at certain times. I believe
you're playing beer pong, you're fine. The next thing you know, you're out in the fucking woods somewhere. That's more literal.
I don't think I ever played beer pong that night.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't think we even started the game.
You're right. There's no beer pong. There was the woods though.
There was the
woods.
But it's weird though, because certain people, I usually have a pretty good grasp on, what my limit is, and where I can go with how much I can drink. Typically I'm pretty good with that limit. A lot of times I don't like to mix liquors. I've had whiskey tonight. I'm obviously probably not going to go down and do a shot of tequila. Like, if anything, I would probably just do another shot of whiskey. Or I mean, I probably wouldn't shoot that whiskey.
Yeah,
that whiskey is too nice to shoot.
Yeah.
But I'd probably just get, like, if I wanted more whiskey, I would do, like, another little glass of whiskey. You know, if I wouldn't, like, switch to some other thing. So I'm just going to stick to this beer and then, like, more whiskey.
Mixing liquors, there's no scientific basis for why that's bad, though.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, from my philosophy and how I've like done regarding, you know, how drunk I am, I just stay away from, you know, mixing those things because it usually leads to me not remembering the rest of the night, and or my girlfriend being very upset with me because I did something.
I don't know. I mean, I think the thing with mixing liquors, so like, I have a couple. I have an anecdote that's similar from New Year's last year, and it kind of follows the same pattern.
What happened New Year's last year?
I was in South Carolina.
Were you in South Carolina?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I was at a New Year's party, and
I don't even remember what I did last year.
You know, I was having some drinks. I also, before the party started, I got like a 375 of Jägermeister, and like drank that whole thing, and then like had some beers and stuff. We went out.
Drank that whole thing by yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I shared a little bit of it, but probably like 75% of it was me. And I went out and I'd forgotten that I'd had the Jägermeister, so I drank my normal amount on top of the Jaeger, and just got like, you know, blitzed.
I think that's normally what happens on New Year, though. People just drink double what they usually drink.
So I think the common link here is Jägermeister, though. So like in your case, the anecdote you're referring to is like Jägermeister plus shots of tequila. I think it's so like Jägermeister. Like, what percentage alcohol is Jägermeister? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's like 30. I don't think it's that much. Maybe 40%.
It's 30%, but that's a lot. Like, you drink it. You can drink it like a mixed drink. It's fucking good.
The thing was, that night, I probably had like 9 shots of it. Like, I was fucking chugging away on that. And I was definitely guilty of, like, you know, I think it was mainly me that was the one rounding up more people to do more shots of it, because it's so good.
Yeah, like even Dr. Hood, like the OG Dr. Hood was in on the mix.
Like, I mean, I had so much of that. And I mean, it's like that story my dad told me where they went to, you know, we had Schützenfest back in Cincinnati. Oh. Where it was like the German, like, culture, you know, Cincinnati.
That's my favorite part of going to Cincinnati. All right, we gotta explain. Okay, keep going. We gotta explain Schützenfest after this.
Cincinnati is like, you know, known
Cincinnati.
They're known for like their German culture and shit. So my family got involved in this festival called Schützenfest, and it was basically where each year, you know, we celebrated our German heritage and our culture by drinking a lot of beer, having a lot of drinks, you know, doing like sauerkraut balls and all this other German shit food. And then at the end of the night, you know, someone did like a bow and arrow, and then whoever could like bullseye this like turkey or something would get like...
There's different Schützenfest traditions.
Yeah, and ours was like a bow and arrow, and whoever could bow and arrow this like little mark on like a tree or something would become the next king, and then they would host like the following year. And there was all these people dressed up in garb and stuff, and my family got involved in the society because it was really fun, because my family enjoys drinking, and there's a lot of it there. And so, like, we'd always be working. I was, like, 16. We were working this sauerkraut ball and, like, everything, like, fried food booth. And every hour, they'd, like, ring this bell and be like, "Hey, it's time for shots." And I'd be like, "What? Mom, Dad, I'm so young. What is a shot?" And my mom would be like, you know, let Zach do one. Like, you know, it's not that bad. It's just a little, you know, like, give him, like, the weak shot. So they'd give me, like, this cherry... Like, it was like this cherry thing shot. And so, like, I would do that shot, and it was like this little, like, weak cherry shit. And I would do that, and, like, I mean, it was pretty weak. Like, but we do it every hour. So when I was, like, 16, I was, like, fucking plastered. And my dad would be like, we're like 5 minutes from home though, because we're over by where we used to live.
Yeah.
And like, we'd be like 5 minutes from home, and my dad would be like, yeah, I just put it in autopilot last night and drove home. And like my mom would get like really pissed off when he would like claim this quote unquote autopilot.
Yeah, dude, self-driving cars, like that doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, I know. This is like fucking.
We don't live in California.
This is like fucking like 2008.
Oh,
like, and so we'd always do that. And when I think the last time I went, it was like sophomore year of high school when I was like 20. I was like nearing 21, and like. It's going to be really annoying on the video, but like when I was very nearing 21 and they were like, let's upgrade to the Jaeger shots, because the guys did Jaeger, the girls did like these weak like cherry liqueur shots or something.
Okay.
So like I did like these Jaeger shots every hour, starting at like, and it always happened where we'd be like the guys that would like, the festival would open at like 3 p.m. or something. And so we'd get there at 2. We'd help set up. Festival would open at 3. We do a shot at 3, and then we do a shot at 4, at 5, at 6, at 7, at 8, at 9, at 10, 11, at 12, and we're closed. We do 9 shots because we were supposed to quit after like 4 because we were supposed to have a replacement, but our replacements would never show up, so we'd have to work like the entire night. And I mean, by the 5th shot, after like, and we're all drinking, like they're drinking beer anyways, like. We'd be like, oh, well, why would I want to leave? I'm getting a free shot every hour, and plus I'm having fun yelling and screaming at people that are ordering food, and they're drunk, and they're just, like, giving us beer and stuff after a while, because everyone's fucking wasted at these events. It was, like, fucking hilarious. But, like, this comes back to, like, Jägermeister being this, like, people don't like licorice, but some people fucking love it. I think it's an amazing beverage. And I remember one of the first... There's like, they had every year they would have like a picnic for Schützenfest, like before it, just to kind of see who's going to work what. Like it'd be a nice, like, like family event. I usually never attended. It was always like on a weekend where my parents wouldn't, like, they just wouldn't invite me because they're like, it's not really like a fun thing to go to. Well, one year, it was one of the first years my parents got involved in it. This guy was like a new member. And he goes to this event. He sits at, I think he was friends with my dad. And my dad knew the king of that year. And so my dad sits at, like, the king's table with this other dude that doesn't really know anyone. And, like, him and his wife were there. And, like, goes up and the king puts down a bottle of Jaeger on their table. And he's like, hey, God, I just wanted to thank you for your help last year. Here's a bottle. Feel free to drink as much as you want today. It's all good. And my dad's like, cool. Like, I like Jaeger, but I'm not going to go crazy. But, like, the other dude, like, had some drinks. So he's like, oh, my God. He'd never had it before. And he's like, oh, my God, this stuff's amazing. I love this shit. And he's, like, just chugging away at it. And my dad was like, he downed... probably like 8 or 9 shots in like less than 30 minutes. Like he was fucking killing it. Like he loved this shit. He was like, I used to have black licorice as a kid. This stuff's amazing. Like he was just drinking away, like. And I mean, Jaeger is like kind of a low alcohol percentage, but it's definitely high enough to fuck your day.
Dude, it's like 60 proof. It's like not. That's the thing.
I mean, I was guessing when I said 30%.
No, you're right. I think it is. 60 proof.
Did you look it up?
We'll look it up.
But, like, this guy, he had, like, 8 or 9 shots. Out of nowhere, he stands up. Like, he was sitting down at a park bench the whole time. He stands up.
Yeah, they got the German style. Yeah.
He stands up. My dad looks at the guy. The guy, like, looks kind of woozy, and the guy just falls face forward, like, on the table. Like, he hits, like, his nose on the edge of the table. And, like, just busts his nose wide open.
Pass the fuck out.
Yeah, and busts his nose. He's bleeding everywhere. And they had to call, like, an ambulance and get this guy out of there. And, like, he, like, broke his nose and, like, bled everywhere all over the fucking table. Like, and the president or the king is like freaking out, like, what the hell happened? Like, what is going on? Like, and my dad's just like laughing, just like, this guy never had Jaeger before. Like, my dad's like, I know from previous years. And he was like, I even warned the guy. Like, I told him like a few times, I was like, hey dude, watch out. Like, that shit'll bite you in the ass. And, the guy just kept drinking it because he thought it was good. And it bit him in the fucking ass.
Okay. Official ruling. Do you want to play over-under on how much alcohol is in Jägermeister?
34%.
Higher.
41%.
Lower.
37%.
Lower.
36%.
Lower.
35%.
Yeah, that. 35%. That's like higher than
70
I thought,
proof is still pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I mean,
you can drink it straight. It does not taste like it's that strong.
That's the problem, because like I'll have like like the Bacardi, like like you'll have like the flavored like vodkas.
You gotta chase it with
and
that.
they're like
different story.
They're like 20% alcohol, and those
are
no, they're like 20 or like
20.
22% alcohol.
Yeah.
Like they sell them at like any kind of regular grocery store since they don't have a full liquor license. And those even need chasers, in my opinion. Like, some of those are rough.
Oh,
like
they taste like shit.
They just need like a Sprite or like a Coke or just something after it just to make it taste good. But like Jaeger, I like just do bottle shots of that. Like, and it's fine.
No, yeah, like our good friend Matta would take. He would just bring Mattawick. He would bring like the.
I mean, Adam.
He would bring he'd throw one of those in the freezer, bring it to a party, and he'd just be drinking it at the party. Like, he'd just walk around drinking it at the party as if it was a beer, and everyone would look at him crazy. But like, that shit is so drinkable.
Dude, he did that when I lived with him like sophomore year. That was like the shit that he had.
Yeah, like a bottle of that costs less than a case of beer. And like, it's probably more alcohol by volume.
Like, it was just hilarious because that's like the main thing.
Yeah,
he would have he would just come to a party.
Dude, you just see it when you see a dude just like drinking straight Jaeger. You're like, what the fuck? Like, but I mean, I'm on that game now. We've done that a couple years in a row. That's the way to go. Yeah, what's going on in the game right now? We haven't discussed the game.
I am building a blacksmith because I just realized I'm almost out of tools.
Oh, do you start with a fixed number of tools?
Yeah, and I also kind of realized that I'm running low on coats too, so I'm probably going to need to make a tailor.
Oh, yeah, we're specializing. Okay. So what I saw they're done with the farm. Is winter coming?
Probably.
Have we just talked about like German drinking traditions for like an entire summer?
We talked about it for pretty much an entire episode, to the point where we're probably near the point where we should end this episode.
Okay, all right. Part 4 then is going to be up next.
Are we going to go after this, or do you want to try a different game?
I mean, what other games can we play?
I don't know. We'll have to see that in the next Two Bros episode.
It might be Banished Part 4. It might be a new episode. We'll find out next time.
Seriously, though, do you want to play a new episode?
Maybe. We got a third bro coming in.
Hey, just wait.
Wait.
Feel free to like and subscribe, and thank you for joining us during this recording.
Two bros drink and play.
We're not doing it.